That's right, Belgium. We're back on the air. Welcome to LockPod, your favorite podcast.
I bet they're thrilled.
They are thrilled. What time is it in Belgium right now?
+7 maybe? +8?
It's like 4 in the afternoon.
I don't know. What would that be, John? 15?
Like
3,
4
4 in the afternoon? Sure.
Yeah, people are getting... That's why they like us. It's because they're over there
they're
getting
mid-afternoon.
Like yeah.
Why
Throwing a couple down.
Why are you saying they're getting drunk?
Because they probably put it on at a bar after work, and they go in there and they put on LockPod and they go shh, 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 and everybody just sits there and listens to us.
My Belgian ale and put LockPod on.
And then somebody talks and they're like, shush! The locomotive is speaking, you know?
You're in Brussels.
Versus here where no one's even up yet.
No, yeah. I mean, we're way too early for America.
34 viewers.
Good morning, America.
We are catering to a European audience for sure.
That's obvious. Our topics are, look at Dr. Mike. That was a very European discussion.
By the way, that was a freaking train wreck from the get-go, wasn't it?
Dr. Mike can be a little scattered.
Well, he's our friend, so he just so I call him and I'm like, hey, Forrest wants to start the show with us, and I call Kev, and Kevin's like, no, man, it's the season 6 premiere. Have him come in after 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's get things rolling a little bit, get caught up.
Right.
Welcome back to LockPod.
I understand. And we had stuff to do. We wanted to cover before he got in here, right?
Our ads.
So I called
our new
him.
advertisers.
So Kevin's like, make this call to Forrest and explain the rules to him, right?
I just said, tell him to come in a little bit later. Tell him to come in at 6:40 or 7:45, 7:50.
I understand what that means. Kevin's beating around the bush. He wants me to call up and tell Forrest what's up. By the way, welcome back, Jill. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Thanks for telling me we were back.
Jill texted me yesterday. Am I on tomorrow?
Did I get fired?
No.
Oh my God.
So anyway, I call Forrest and I'm like, hey man, it's the season 6 premiere. You're our first guest, but we have some stuff to do right at the beginning. And he's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, we need you to come on at 7:50.
And the ironic thing about Dr. Mike is he's usually late.
I know.
He's the late guy.
But you have to understand, he was super excited to come on.
get that. But you know how, right? I mean, Dr. Mike traditionally is, hey, we're
leaving
at 4 o'clock.
Ever.
And then you're at his house.
At 4:45. You're still at his house.
Right. You're
and he's
Mike, we got to go.
But he is actively leaving for 45 minutes.
Sure.
Right?
He's
always
this
putting on a
backpack.
shirt.
He's like, gotta go to the bathroom.
This.
Oh my God, I gotta get my, he's got a bag with 6,000 things inside of it.
A lot of satchels.
Right.
And the irony of this is that, but for LockPod, he's always early.
That's what I'm saying. So I call him. I'm like, hey, man, it's season 6 premiere. We need you to be at 7:50, 7:55. He's like, why? And I'm like, because it's the season 6 premiere. It's our first show. We got some stuff to do, right? And he's like, what? You still want me to come on, right? And I'm like, yeah, man. You're our guest. But normally guests come on at 8, Mike. Can you get on there at 7:50? And he's like, what do you want me to do? Just sit there and do nothing?
Yeah, because he's always on time. I mean,
So I'm like, we have a green room and it's plugged into the show.
That's
you could just go in there and then we'll come get you, right? Okay, so we get on the air. We're
7:30.
We're on the air for 12 seconds,
and the door opens, and he's here, and he sits down and just totally
starts talking,
totally goes
takes
off
the
topic.
Show over. It was funny.
So he just told you to F off pretty much, and he just walked in.
There was no, and then Kevin looked at me. He was pissed. I could tell.
It's what is that? I mean, I would just, I love Michael.
I know.
I love the
know
guy.
You do. I love
it's just
Michael
so. It's just so ironic because the guy's never on time.
Well, he is he is a friend and a fan. He's
course.
listening to us right now.
Of course. I love Michael.
It was funny,
I love
though.
The guy.
He just hey, what's up, guys? And then he's we were in the middle of a story, and he starts talking about something
trying to do our ads. He grabbed my ads. You're like, go ahead and read the next one. I said, I can't read him. He's got my ad
He's
reads.
fixing your collar immediately.
But by the way, though, it was a good show. Dr. Mike did a great job talking about his trip to Poland/Ukraine and helping Ukrainian refugees. And
I think it was really good to get a perspective of somebody who's been there and on the ground, because a lot of the stuff we get is just, it's fed by news media, and that's fine. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it is, accurate. But the issue is getting really firsthand knowledge from somebody on the ground was really cool.
Did you see him get emotional in one part? And started crying?
I think he
almost started crying.
Well,
I was like, whoa.
I think that tells you how emotional that trip was for him. I mean, and probably anybody that goes over there to see what's happening. I mean, it's emotional to watch it on TV,
right? Let
alone be on the ground there.
And speaking of, Russia just started the offensive in the Donbass, going after Mariupol, just to try to finish the job.
Yeah, they're right, trying to finish up Mariupol on the south end, and then on the east end, and those, I guess they call them breakaway provinces, right? In what is it, Luhansk and Donetsk? They're going all out,
and they're launching rockets at the western part of Ukraine, which is where the refugees are fleeing to get to Poland.
I see no reason to do that. That's just mean.
They're monsters. The Russians are monsters.
So here's an
the
interesting...
Putin and his government and his soldiers they're monsters, and they have been our enemies since the Cold War began. And for some reason, the right in America befriended Putin and thought that they were suddenly our friends. But they've been our enemies since the Cold War began, and they want to kill Americans and they want to destroy our country, and they always have. So anybody that is catering to Putin and the Russians. Nobody wants to talk about it now, but just 2 years ago, they were talking about Putin like he was the best thing on, we need to disband NATO and get closer to Putin.
Yeah, I mean, whether it be, and it goes back all the way to even to like the early, mid 2000s, but whether it be through electronic, right, like trying to influence elections and trying to throw stuff in Facebook and all that stuff, or doing it militarily. I mean, I think they're a danger because every time they think they can undermine, democracy and the way that the United States works, they feel like that's a way that they have more power globally, right? If they feel like the unstable, like the U.S. is unstable because we're all fighting with ourselves and there's this extreme partisanship.
We are.
Yeah, and right, absolutely, right? And then they feel like, oh, good, U.S. is busy fighting with themselves. Let's go take some, let's go try to push our own power.
No, the question is China going to try to do the similar type of,
Gosh, I hope not, because that would really.
I mean, they already did it in Hong Kong. They did it without tanks, but they did it in Hong Kong already. They, quelched and stifled all the residents' rights in Hong Kong already, and now Taiwan is next.
At least arguably with Hong Kong, right? It's their own territory that Britain kind of.
But it was always recognized as an independent state, and it's always been the center for democracy and the center for economic activity, and it's a great country, an international country, an international city, and now, if you protest the government now, you go to jail, which is what they do in Russia.
Stuff going on over there is crazy.
Yeah.
You guys seeing the lockdowns in one of the biggest cities in the world?
I saw some people protesting.
Shanghai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Shanghai?
I thought it was Shanghai that was on lockdown, yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Are they still locked
millions
down?
of people?
I know.
Just there's these videos. There's just people screaming through out their windows. They have no food. It's crazy.
Well, they took an apartment complex, like one high-rise building I was watching, and they told everybody to get the hell out. This is a COVID isolation area.
Move out.
Get the hell out of your place. What? And these are your places. That's the thing about China is the wealthy billionaires that I met when on my trip to China. They wanted their money out of China because the Chinese government could take it at any time.
Right, if they nationalize
all the money they have and they've accumulated could be gone in an instant in China. Like you have no property. If you own a piece of property, they could take it easily.
Wow. Yeah, property's already nationalized, right? They let you use it under this weird.
It's like a lease.
I was going to say it's
right, like a lifetime lease, right. And maybe your kids could take the same.
But there's no ownership of the land.
No, and by the way, most Chinese that I met live in small apartments in high-rise buildings, and I didn't really meet too many people that had their own house, so to speak.
Well, I think it's interesting, right, that even like Russian oligarchs, Chinese billionaires. A lot of their money is placed in European banks, American banks, which, by the way, leaves them open to getting it frozen if there's ever a problem.
Well, like we have right now.
Right, absolutely.
By the way, most of the super wealthy I met in China were all American educated. They came to America for their college education. They went to places like Stanford or even Purdue Northwest right here in Hammond had past tense before COVID a huge Chinese international program. Like it was for me. I live real close to the campus, so I would see Chinese students buying houses on my parkway where I live, which is one of the nicer, there's a few nice neighborhoods. I think it's one of the nice neighborhoods in Hammond. Yeah. And these students would buy a house down the street from me.
Well, I think it's interesting, right? Some universities rely on foreign students to help their bottom line.
Well, I think, to the detriment when COVID came.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden you're relying on it and they can't come over. Right. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's our Dr. Mike update, I guess, our Dr. Mike review. And
talking a little COVID, little Dr. Mike.
Yeah, and John, you bring up an interesting point, right? I mean, the issue with we're going to talk a little COVID because I know you want to talk about what happened in Philadelphia, and I want to bring up what John just brought up and you brought up in China. But let's do some ads real quick first, and then we'll come back and talk some COVID updates.
Okay. Season 6, episode 2, April 19th. The bug guy pest control. Mice, spiders, ants, and roaches are filthy and disgusting. Once they establish themselves in your home, it's nearly impossible to get rid of them.
Facts.
But the bug guy pest control can create a pest-free zone in and around your home. Prompt, thorough, and professional service treating residential, commercial, and municipal sewers in Northwest Indiana.
Customers.
Municipal sewers. Let's do that again. Prompt, thorough, and professional service treating residential, commercial, and municipal customers in Northwest Indiana. I think a lot about sewers, obviously.
Sure.
This is my job.
And the bugs they're in.
To schedule your appointment, call Brian at 219-810-7481 or visit thebugguynwi.com. That's thebugguynwi. That's one word.com.
And I would just mention now is the time, springtime, to get your pest control. Get it done at your house, especially because now is the time.
It is the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Call them now. Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on the best end of the boulevard in Hammond, serving all of your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. Prestimer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses all around Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
I'm curious. You said the best end of the boulevard. Is there a debate on what the best end of the boulevard is?
So not to give a plug to a non-sponsor, but Smith Chevy used to always have on their commercials back in the day, the best end of the boulevard. On the best end of the boulevard.
Which is funny because Prestimer and Smith are on opposite ends of the boulevard.
True.
You know what's interesting?
So there is a debate now.
Is my building that I own on the boulevard is right in the middle of both of them.
Must be. Then you are definitely on the best end of the boulevard.
I am right in the middle. Summer camps at Challenger NWI. Challenger will be hosting summer camp sessions this June and July for students entering the kindergarten through the 6th grades. Space is limited for these camps, and they fill up quickly. Scholarships are also available. For more information and to register your young scientists today, visit clcnwi.com. That's clcnwi.com or call 219-989-3250.
Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs, printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom commercial on-demand printing and sign solutions. Rick Balzenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. Misprint has 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond. Thanks, Rick, for all the hard work you've been doing this election season.
He's going through a lot right now, Rick Baltonsberger. Just want to say we're thinking about you, bud. Their family's going through a lot right now, so we were thinking about you, Rick, and
many prayers.
Yeah, we're still using Misprint as much as possible. I know he's distracted right now, but it's understandable. So, Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Can you hear me when I'm saying that?
I had to mute your mic. It was that loud.
Yeah, that's why when I heard you muted him, that's when I knew I could take my headphones off.
You know what's crazy, though? Because we always talk right into these microphones because we know. But if you're not talking right into these microphones, I was listening to
Dr. Mike. Dude, he was talking to the side.
He would put the microphone out like this, and he'd think because I'm so loud, but you can't. You couldn't hear it. Not even close. Like these mics have to be right up on you, right, John?
Very directional.
I was just going to say the word directional. John.
Yeah, dude. He was very distracted the other day, man. He was like, he just
as
like
if that's unusual.
Yeah, but it was like I know there's levels of Dr. Mike, and that was a heavy dose we got the other day, right?
We got a heavy dose.
Yeah, dude. He was like on fire, and he put the microphone out here and just started like holding court, like talking. His arms were going everywhere. It was like, so for those of you that were just listening, you didn't get the full experience like we did here. I know the people on YouTube enjoyed it.
Check out YouTube.
Yeah.
So you want to go right into COVID, or you want to?
I thought we were going to talk about Better Call Saul.
Oh, let's hear about it. That's been going on at my house all of a sudden.
I have a
Really?
question.
Yes.
Tom, you started with Breaking Bad, right?
I watched Breaking Bad when it was out.
God. Okay, good.
Yeah, you shouldn't go opposite.
Have you seen
Anybody
it?
out there?
I have not.
Don't
Okay.
go
Breaking
opposite.
Bad.
Have not seen it.
But if you're going to watch it now, watch Better Call Saul first.
You got to watch Breaking
it's a prequel?
Bad first.
Better Call Saul is a prequel.
It is, but I like that order. But anyway,
Okay,
Four
well,
X
that's
in the
the order.
chat, by the way. What's up, 4X?
Hey, Mike, what's up?
We haven't been talking about
He's
it.
defending himself.
I was extra excited. He said,
But so
"That's for sure."
Saul Goodman, he's not even Saul yet at this point. So I don't know when that happens, but he starts off as this really like down and out
Troubled.
lawyer. And he's really like an ethical guy. He, people are trying to bribe him and stuff, but he starts off that way. And we know what he ultimately becomes. He's just some shady ass lawyer during Breaking Bad, working with the cartels and stuff.
Spoiler
So it's how to get there. How it gets there.
No, it's not a spoiler alert.
Not
That's what
spoiler
Breaking
alert.
Bad's all about. Breaking Bad's about a regular guy that starts a meth operation.
Whoa.
The stuff with his brothers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah,
Into
yeah.
that yet?
Yeah. No, yeah.
What season are you in?
2. No,
Okay.
hold
Okay,
it.
so you've
no,
probably-
no. I'm in 1. I'm sorry.
Okay, you've
Oh,
probably
still
met
on
his
one.
brother at that point, but
His brother, he's got like an allergy to
Right.
electronics.
Exactly.
Yeah, electric.
Yeah.
That'll
waves.
develop.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's great. I got out on a ride a couple weeks ago, first time. Well, about
I was
a week
wondering
ago.
if you've got out right
One time it was warm enough. I'll be honest, like, because I'm still like holding out hope that I could do this try. But so like this weekend, I swam 3 times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm in the
Nice.
pool.
I'm gonna
So,
check Tom Strava right now live.
You know, there's nothing there because everything I do indoors, I don't put on Strava. But
Did you ride in or out?
I rode outside one time. I did 25 just to make sure I could still do it. I did it easily, actually. I'm not worried about the biking part. I'm focused. I did a lot of running this winter, so I think I'm in good running shape, and I hadn't swam at all. So I hit the pool over the weekend, swam 3 times. I did a mile each time. So
Nice. You're in.
I think I'm ready. I'm ready. You know, once I start stringing them together, I could do the try. I'm going to do Leon's first. It's in early June, and I think I got some work to do, but I think I'll be all right.
Should we vlog that one again?
I don't care.
Should we do a vlog?
Well, let's make sure I could get it done first, all right?
That would make the vlog extra great.
Because I could do each individual
If he
section. If I couldn't do it,
If you just quit.
and I'm just like crying, like stop filming
It's
me.
all on fire.
Yes,
You got that goo stuff all over you.
yeah, like just like I'm losing control of my.
Hey, you know who
don't
does
want that
post
to
their
happen.
indoor workouts on Strava? Dave Westland.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
And it's
yeah, he
always
does because he's on Peloton.
Peloton.
yeah,
It's easy
look at
to
this
do.
core with Rebecca Kennedy. It's always
I noticed with him.
women.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
We've done this. Yeah, and then
We've done this bit before.
We've done this bit before, and Kevin had a tendency to work out with guys all the time. We were wondering what was up with that.
You know.
But it is like Dave, every time he works out, I mean, this is something Nicole should take note of. It's like every time Dave works out, it's with some super hot woman.
I mean, wow.
On Strava, by the way. We're talking Strava.
Peloton.
Yeah, look at this.
Uh,
Core with
I'm
Rebecca Kennedy.
Peloton. I apologize. Yeah.
Run with Bex Gentry.
Yeah. It makes me
Core
want
with Olivia. How many women
I
are
just
you
want to see
following?
one with like Joe Smith or something like that.
That's like my guy. I mean, I like
My guy.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're loyal.
We
Kevin.
did this. We
I
did
am.
this bit already.
Yes, we
I agree
did.
with Jill. Yeah.
So, you know, just getting back to COVID real quick, because I think this is interesting. Like John mentioned about what's going on in Shanghai, and China is like on lockdown, and yet you've got kind of in the U.S., it's almost the opposite happening now, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, yesterday the CDC, well, not the CDC, a federal court judge in Florida struck down the CDC's mask mandate on public transportation.
Yeah.
I think it just started with airplanes. And then, by the way, like airlines, much like the submarine that I lived on for years, have really good electrostatic systems that literally charge particles in the air. So if we had smoke or something on the submarine, we called these things the electrostatic precipitators. I was responsible for fixing them. And they were big fans, and they would suck the dirty air into them, and it would charge them.
Are they on all the time or only when there's a need?
All the time, absolutely.
So whether
Even in
it's
port.
smoky or not smoky, they're on.
And if you have any particle in that air, it'll suck it in, and it charges. I want to say it was like 50,000 volts. It charges all the particles, and then it collects them, and it sucks, and they get stuck to a plate.
Interesting.
So like it would have smoke go through, and it would literally like charge the smoke.
What
And
about
there
just
would be-
regular air?
Yeah,
It
it
just-
does that with regular air too. But what we would say on the submarine is, you know, we would have the cleanest air. We did have the cleanest air. I lived in a sterile environment like that for 4 years. It's super clean air, like a hospital, right?
And airlines have some, and airplanes have something similar to
absolutely.
that?
They have similar systems on airlines. So that was the funny thing about the CDC's mask mandate on airlines is obviously it's a cramped space with lots of people, but the fact is they have these precipitators that, you know, that charge. So presumably you're breathing very clean air on airlines.
Yeah, and it seemed like recently the airline execs were kind of aggravated that the CDC was still mandating, the mask mandate in airplanes. So,
But that's the interesting thing is so the airline executives want to make money, and they know that the mask mandate's probably holding them down because some people don't want to wear a mask for 6-8 hours, or in Dr. Mike's case, traveling across halfway
Yeah.
across the world. As soon as you step foot in the airport, you have to have a mask on, and then you fly 8-9 hours, and then you have to get out of that airport before you can take it off. So
I guess the question will be, will the CDC or the federal government appeal that ruling, right? This is just a district court judge in Florida. But
but
it
it
sounds
appeared-
like they may not.
because it appeared that the White House yesterday came out and basically they weren't happy with what happened, but they reversed the mask mandate on. Well, first off, other airlines started following. So like you have like American, Delta, United, all the big airlines are like, okay, mask mandates lifted. TSA has agreed not to enforce the mask mandate in airports. So then, of course, that starts rolling out to like Metra, the South Shore, who are pulling their mask mandates as well. I think that in Chicago, the buses, what's the bus line? CTA in Chicago still has a mask mandate. But for the most part, Uber, Lyft, everybody is lifting their mask mandate.
Yeah, when the White House decided not to, said, "Oh, we're disappointed with this, but we're going to lift it," it just told me that they were, in a way, maybe looking for something, looking for a reason to do it. Because, I mean, look, if they really disagreed with it, they'd appeal it.
How do you feel, Jill?
I mean, if I go to a business and they want me to wear a mask, I don't have a problem, but I'm not walking around wearing a mask if I don't have to.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I keep a mask handy in my car.
Right.
And if if a place says they'd like you to wear it, I put it on.
When I go to churches in Gary and go to churches like Baptist churches like Marissa and I have been doing, I noticed that we always wear a mask. Okay. And then I went to Catholic Mass over the weekend for Easter. No masks.
Yeah, no masks.
Jam-packed,
Yeah,
too.
same with us.
Jam-packed, no masks. So, like, it's funny, when I'm going to the Baptist churches, I notice they're very vigilant with the mask, requirement. And when I go to a Catholic church, it's like, nope, no mask. It almost goes back to the political debate, when you see Republicans get together, not to stereotype, but to me, I think Republicans are less, likely to wear masks, whereas Democrats are more likely. Is that generalizing, John?
I guess,
John?
I think that's the definition of generalizing, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're
Do
wrong.
you disagree? Do you disagree with me?
I don't disagree. No, you're saying that Baptists are more likely to be Republican.
And no. I guess in the
Depends
Baptist
where
church,
you're at.
The Baptist churches I go
in
to,
Texas, maybe.
the Baptist churches I go are heavy
Are
Democrat.
Democrat. Yeah.
Heavy Democrat. I would guess 90% Democrat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, as a
No, I'm
Democrat,
sorry. Yeah, in this case, you're saying the Baptists are more likely to be Democrat.
Right.
The Catholics are more likely to be Republican.
Agree.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the more Catholic you are, the more likely you're to be a Republican.
I don't
Kevin,
know if
you're an
that's
exception to
changed.
the rule. You're
Kevin
Maybe
is an
that's changed.
exception.
Maybe
You
that's
are the
changed
exception
over time.
It's because of the pro-life, pro-choice. That's they've the Catholic
It shouldn't
Church
be a one-issue thing.
You're right,
Your
Kevin.
religion.
Tell me I'm wrong, though, man. You are one of the very few progressive Democrats I know that's also very Catholic. You're very Catholic, and
Maybe
respectfully.
I just follow a lot of Democratic Catholic things, but maybe that's why I feel like there's more of us. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm in. I mean, here's what I would say. I never feel like I'm in some sort of like political situation when I'm at Mass. I don't. I just feel like I'm at Mass.
No, I agree with you.
You
In
know?
Mass, okay.
So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't like walk in and think like, oh my gosh, I'm going into a Republican church.
No,
you know?
I don't feel that way either.
Yeah.
By the way, I hadn't been to St. John Bosco in a while for regular church. Well, it wasn't regular church; it was Easter. It was really nice going back.
Yeah,
It was really nice. We have a new pastor at St. John Bosco.
Nice. No more Father Rick.
No, Father Rick is retired. I'm not sure where if he might have another church, or he might have been like senior status or whatever they call it when you're a priest and you're. But no, check this out. So Father Jeff, right? St. John Bosco, he's excellent.
Nice.
And St. John Bosco, honestly, I've been going there for 2 decades, and you sort of become used to,
Certain
Father
homily.
Rick. Father Rick had a way
of
of
things. Yeah.
and then Father Stan, who Father Stan's a nice. They're both wonderful people, by the way. But like their homilies, sometimes weren't like energetic. Mm-hmm. Was that being nice?
Sure.
So a standard Catholic mass.
Yeah, right. So like, but Father Jeff, holy cow! I don't know if he's trying to impress us. It was outstanding.
It's great.
Super smart.
Yeah.
Super energetic. Super into being a father. Like he's a new priest. He's super into it, and you could just tell he's like excited and like there's like a rejuvenation of St. John Bosco. It's really nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think obviously the pastor at a parish is always real important. I mean, I'm lucky at St. Tom's. Father Mike's been there forever. He's great. He's the same way.
Is he
He's
young?
No, he's older, but he's
Right.
very energetic. He
I'm telling
always
you.
has good things to talk about. Cracks jokes from the pulpit, stuff
See,
like that.
I haven't heard a joke in 20 years in St. John. I'm not even kidding. I haven't heard a joke in 20 years in St. John Bosco. All right? This is the no joking zone, right?
Wow.
But Father Jeff didn't make any jokes, but I could see one in the future.
He's coming.
Okay?
He's easing you into it.
So I go up after, and I'm like, I go up and I was like, hey, Father, Mayor, and he knew who I was. And I go, he goes, we've actually met before. I'm like, really? Where did we meet? And he goes, I was a reporter for the Times and I was covering you for a while.
No way.
I go, what's your name again? And he told me, I'm like, holy cow, I totally remember this guy when he was a reporter.
Now
That's how
he's a
long I've been
priest.
mayor.
Now he's serving
Now
the
he's
Lord.
my priest. It's
Pretty neat.
Wow.
I know. That's a sign that you've been married too long, I think, right there.
You've gone through.
I have a reporter that's now the priest of my local parish, right? And I'm still sitting in the same spot. That's like a sign from God.
You head to confession.
No, that's a sign from God.
He chose a life of poverty rather than be a reporter.
I think that's an indictment on the reporters.
I was
yeah,
gonna
right.
say, maybe that's a.
Yeah, he probably is better off financially in a life of poverty than he was as a reporter. That's a very sad statement, right?
His vows.
Right.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know we were going to go to Catholic Mass today, but we did.
Yeah. I was very happy though. It was really nice. Hey, why don't we? You want to do the second part of our ads?
Sure, and then we're going to come back and talk some politics, see what's going on in the Senate race.
Yeah,
Stay tuned,
I want to do
everyone.
an update on where I am. So could you start with the first one so I can get to the
Absolutely,
second
we'll do it.
All right.
Calumet Brewing. Nearly 10 years in the making. Bud Light Next is their first zero-carb beer, and is a result of a brewing breakthrough, making the impossible possible.
It's nice to know that people are working hard. Like all these scientists are like, we have the perfect beer.
We've made
It's
the
like,
impossible
right,
possible.
we got COVID out there raging. Like, all of our best scientists are making new beer.
Great read, Steve. We've made the impossible possible. Super crisp and refreshing. Bud Light Next is a light lager with 4% ABV and is brewed with the highest quality ingredients while containing only 80 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbs. Here's to what's next. Head over to calbrew.com for more info, and cheers with beers.
Executive Suites 2. Executive Suites Squared, commonly known as ES2, is a first-class executive office environment located on 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue exit. ES2 offers flexible membership plans that provide the privacy of dedicated, fully furnished offices with 24/7 secured access. For more information on their basic or private office membership packages, or to rent one of their state-of-the-art conference rooms, call them at 219-844-2901 or visit them at executivesuites2.com.
Grisolia's Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region in both 2020 and 2021. Grisolia's Concrete specializes in all concrete projects, and they have been using the original cement finish in the
California style. It comes with the season, you know.
All right, so we're easing into it.
Yeah,
You're right, because
yeah.
at the first episode, you just read it.
Yeah.
Now you've
It's
started
because
the
we were
music.
dealing with the 4-8 zone. It was hard to, I was like trying to control
You're
my
like, I
anger.
better just get through this.
And Kevin was all pissed because we were off script already, like 2 minutes into season 6.
I think at one point Tom hit 4-eye, like slapped
He did,
him or
because he had his
his
phone
volume, yeah.
on with volume on.
With the volume blasting
So
on
he's
our
watching
show.
himself.
Yeah, right.
Unbelievable.
Like on his phone with the volume on.
Right.
In the
our-
studio. I'm surprised he didn't
right.
point the microphone down at his phone.
You guys brought
Grisolia-
this on yourself.
Grisolia's Concrete has been using the original cement finish in the California style since 1972. They also offer stamped and colored concrete. Call now at 219-659-4147 to get your project lined up for this summer.
Tomorrow's 420 day. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
It's the Stoner Christmas, I think it is.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, 420 is
I've
Stoner
never
Christmas.
There's your
heard
title.
that.
I just made it up.
Stoner Christmas.
Stoner
John,
Christmas.
that's the title.
That'd be the title? Okay,
420
I'm
is
making
Stoner
a note.
Christmas, right? Stoner Christmas is tomorrow. So for all those out there that plan on celebrating Stoner Christmas on 420 day, I recommend highly that you go to Mission Marijuana.
Jeez.
Michigan Marijuana, from where we are right now, it's dispensary located on Calumet City on Commercial Avenue. It's located on Torrance Avenue, right across from the old River Oaks Mall. It's literally 4 miles from where we are right now, Kev.
Yeah, probably. If that. Yeah.
Maybe not even 4 miles. We could, it'll take us 10 minutes to get there from here.
10 minutes to go to Mission Dispensary.
I've timed it, No, I'm
From
just
the
kidding.
studio?
From the studio. No,
Is
I
that
don't
on
want to.
Strava?
I don't cross state
Yes.
lines.
There's just a circle around Mission Dispensary at Strava.
It's like, is that a workout?
That's why he doesn't post on Strava.
I did 25 miles easy,
That
but it
would
was
be-
just a lot of
That would
circles.
be so funny. That would be. I'd do one like I'll drive my bike to South Chicago location on Commercial and then go to Calumet City, like do the Mission, the Mission
Triangle.
20 mile.
Mission
yeah.
Mile.
I like that, John. The Mission, Mile.
Yeah. So anyway, Mission Dispensary, Mission Marijuana. Are you looking for the closest cannabis dispensary to Northwest Indiana?
Yes.
Probably, because tomorrow
Listen
is
to Jill.
Stoner Christmas. Thank you, Joe.
Is it Stoner Chris? I love that, but I mean,
It is
Did
great.
you just make that up?
I made that up.
Oh,
I
Stoner
have
Christmas.
credibility in this because I'm going to rock people's worlds tomorrow. By
All
the
right,
way,
420.
I'm not supposed to talk about this, am I?
No.
Tomorrow I'm going to rock your world.
All right,
That's
enjoy
all.
420.
Tomorrow 420, I'm going to rock your world.
Get up nice and early.
Yeah,
everyone.
That's
I
what
promise
stoners
you.
do.
You're
They
going to
get
shake
up
your
early.
head or you're going to cheer. You're going to be pissed, but you will have a reaction. I promise you.
For
on
better
this.
or worse, Tom's gonna rock your world.
That's the thing I've noticed about me as a candidate over the years. There's not too many people in the middle. They're usually either love me or hate me. Would you agree with that, campaign manager / senior advisor?
Just say yes. Kevin.
Sure.
Serious?
No, I don't. No, I don't think.
There's not too many people like, you like Tom McDermott? They're like, let me give it a couple minutes and let me think about it. Usually they're like, I hate him or I think he's great.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what I would say to that is you're getting a lot of people are getting to know you for the first time on the campaign trail, and so they don't know
I'm talking
one way
about
or
people.
another.
I'm talking about local.
Sure.
I think I make a good first impression. I'm like a lemon with, that looks really good on the outside. Dude, I was in
you
Indy.
age well with time. The people like you. I think people like you more as they get to know you. So I think, though, locally, I'm sure most people have an initial opinion of you.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Often wrong, in my opinion. But
Well,
I was in Indianapolis last week, and somebody was like, you're head of the ticket. How do you feel about that? And I was like, I go, it'd be like if your second string quarterback was leading the Colts against like the world champs or something.
Not true.
Come on.
I'd be like, people would be like, yeah, this guy's, he's all right, whatever.
I like him.
I
We
think
just
we got
gotta
a
see
shot.
how he's going to
but-
perform. Yeah.
They all started laughing. I like self-deprecating jokes.
Well,
by
you
the
also
way.
like being the underdog. I know you do.
But we haven't even done Mission Marijuana's commercial yet. We got
Go ahead.
like 420
Your read.
off. We
Your
like
read.
started.
You
heading
did.
Yeah, sorry. So if you're looking for the closest cannabis dispensary to Northwest Indiana, look no further than Torrance Avenue in Calumet City. Tomorrow's 420 day, and they have 420 prices that you will not want to miss. I'm freelancing off of this, right?
I see that.
I do know that they make a big deal
From
out
Stoner
of 420.
Christmas to-
Stoner Christmas at Mission Dispensary is a big deal. They give like massive discounts. So I've heard, this is
Visit-
the rumor I hear in the community.
And the website is?
Where is it? MissionDispensaries.com. How easy is that? Visit MissionDispensaries.com. And if you don't know how to spell dispensaries, go to school. Okay.
It'll
And look it
it'll
up.
come up.
Type it in your phone. MissionDispensaries.com to
I want-
learn more. Tomorrow's 420 day. Make sure you visit and get your discounts.
Before I forget, this is a reminder to our business manager, Steve Kellogg, who wrote up this mystery read for Lindsay. But one of our sponsors, Marissa McDermott for Judge, doesn't have a read. So, Steve, please get us the read
What?
for Marissa McDermott for Judge. Remember, Lindsay read it?
We don't have it on our script?
No.
Well, we have to do it. She
Well,
bought it.
She bought it. I'm just
think
telling
it
you. Thank you to
was-
Marissa McDermott for Circuit Court Judge.
Vote
Marissa-
for a nerd on May 3rd.
Yeah.
Vote for a
That be part
nerd
of it?
on
for a nerd.
May 3rd.
That was her. She made
Yeah.
that up, which is
Yes.
very accurate, by the way.
Yeah.
She is a dork. But don't
Can't
you
beat
want?
nerds.
No, Marissa. Honestly, she
Love
said
nerds.
something about how when she was in high school, everybody else was going on dates and she was reading books about horses, right?
Probably true.
And then who else do you know that as a young woman posed as Teddy Roosevelt and won awards for her rendition of Teddy Roosevelt? That's my wife, right? And she's also very tomboyish. She loves playing sports and all that. She's
Rugby.
tough. She's tough. She played rugby up until
Lacrosse.
she became judge, and I literally told her she couldn't do it anymore. She took me to her first rugby game, Jill, and a young lady that was competing broke her leg. I'm like, what the hell are you? Marissa's super small. I'm like, what are you doing?
But she's wiry.
quick.
She's quick. She
Yeah.
can get around. I forget what the different positions are in rugby.
She was the one that touched the ball first.
Yeah,
Can I read
there
it?
you go.
I got the read.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
just
you.
texted to me.
All right.
Oh,
In the second grade, she was the youngest violinist in the Guggenheim Elementary School Orchestra. In 1988, she took the first place at State National History Day for her moving rendition of Theodore Roosevelt at San Juan Hill.
Who is this woman? I'm instantly attracted.
who is this mystery?
Oh my God! I want.
Tom is
Is
so
this her
hot
Tinder
right now.
Yeah.
profile?
Yeah,
She has a Tinder profile. Like, should I know about this?
That's where it got cut and pasted from.
What the hell?
In 1993, while other kids were busy moshing at raves, she was busy writing research papers
Oh,
and
I
reading
said-
Horse Illustrated.
I said dating people.
Right.
Similar.
When it comes to
Moshing,
electing
Moshing, dating.
When it comes to electing a circuit court judge, don't you want someone who's wearing glasses way before it was cool? This May
She
3rd,
was.
vote for a nerd. Marissa McDermott for Lake County Judge.
Vote
Paid
for
for
a
by the
nerd.
committee to re-elect Judge Marissa McDermott.
And let's just remember that that read came from not from Steve. So
It came from Marissa,
yeah,
didn't it?
yeah, came
Time
Marissa.
out,
So
time
Marissa-
out.
Marissa's
He
gotta
just
do-
read that off of his watch.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
true.
Good
That's
job, John.
impressive.
I can't
That's a
read.
talent in itself.
Can't do that on
John.
an Aura ring, Tom. Sorry.
I
Hate
have
to
a
break
watch
it
too,
to
buddy.
Nice.
Damn.
Nice.
You got it all on. You
I
got
do.
like this, that.
You know what's crazy? Between the two of them, they monitor me really well. So like when I'm stressed out, I have this app that like flashes me. It's like, hey, you know.
But then what do you do?
You're about to die. Chill.
Yeah, hey, dude, your heart stopped 5
What do you
minutes
do
ago.
then?
You're like, damn, I'm
What
about
should
to
I
die.
do?
Right.
All right. Well, thanks to our sponsors, all of them. Thank you.
Hey, I raised $250,000 last quarter. I wanted to
Sounds
point
like
that
a
out.
lot.
Whoa.
McDermott for Indiana.
Yes.
What are you like mocking me?
No, it sounds like a lot.
No, I'm being mocked though.
No.
Yeah,
Well, I
I
mean,
am.
because
Todd
I,
Young
I,
was like,
I have a feeling I know where the story's going.
What are you talking about?
No, I know where the story's going. That they, like I was saying, is that a lot?
I don't know. I think it's a lot. It's
a lot of money.
I'm not trying to one up anybody, but I raise more than a lot of the congressional candidates and they're actual Congress people. I raise a lot more than them actually.
Right.
So
So
like,
statewide, it doesn't go that far.
Right. And
Right.
Todd Young, he's sitting on $5 million. So naturally, everybody I talk to that's doesn't know me really well tells me you're going to get your ass kicked in this race.
Just because of money.
Right. Which is so sad. Is that really what it is? Then why don't we stop campaigning? Why don't we stop talking about issues and we'll just start raising money from the get-go, right?
Yep.
Because like we make it worse on ourselves. We don't want people like Todd Young in there because he's bought and paid for, right? So what we do, when I say we, I'm talking about the media, is they focus on one aspect of the race. Is how much does Todd Young have? Oh, he has $5 million. You know how much that is? That's way more than Richard Lugar and Joe Donnelly and Evan Bayh ever raised. Way more. It's record setting. So like,
For
does that
Indiana.
mean for Indiana?
Right.
So does that mean that Todd is a great U.S. senator? No. That means he's the biggest sellout that we've ever had in the U.S. Senate in Indiana's history. That's what it means to me. I don't want to raise that much. I want to raise enough to be competitive, to go on TV, and I haven't done that yet. I acknowledge that. But our senator is bought and paid for by people that aren't Hoosiers.
Well, that was interesting. There was an article in the Indy Star about it, and it said that a lot of his money came from PACs, and a lot of your money came from individuals.
My money is like $25, $50 donations. I have people that max, which is wonderful, and I
But they're
appreciate
people,
them.
not PACs. Right?
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
People, not PACs.
People, not
That's
PACs.
a good line,
There you
Kevin.
go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I like that, Kevin.
That's a really good line.
People, not PACs.
Wow.
You hear that, Zach?
Has your
People, not
campaign
PACs.
manager heard that?
Dude, that's good, Kevin.
That's
Thank
really
you.
good.
Oh, there was another. They were talking about a T-shirt they wanted to do at our convention. It's pro-choice, pro-union, anti-bullshit or something
Yeah, no
like that.
bullshit.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No bullshit. I think that I like that because that is you. No bullshit.
I,
Here's the
tomorrow you're gonna realize how
no bullshit you really
unscripted
are.
I am. How
All right.
unscripted
Kevin,
I am.
did you not pitch my T-shirt idea from?
What is it?
months
Oh,
ago?
let's hear it, Joe.
This is great. Ready?
Let's
Yes.
go.
Give me the D.
D.
Oh my God.
Vesmar's got it.
Give me the D. That's
Yeah,
your
that's
t-shirt
great. We'll
It
sell
did-
so many.
It
shirts.
didn't really hit me.
The D didn't
Come on,
hit
think
you.
about it.
No.
The D.
I don't know.
I don't know what the hell you're talking
no.
about.
Dick.
Yeah. What about
Oh
the dick?
my God, Jill.
It's a double entendre.
Wow.
But wait,
Okay.
you mean give me the
Like D as in Democrat.
Democrat?
Oh. See, this is how old we are.
See what
We
I'm?
didn't get it.
Yeah, I am.
You know, I did just to talk. Just
You'll make
I'm
millions.
blushing, Jill.
Give me the
You'll
that
make,
was from Jill.
You'll make millions.
You'll make millions.
Thank me later.
We have T-shirt ideas. One of the cool things about the McDermott logo is it's interchangeable with like Pride Week. We're going to have a McDermott logo with
Yeah.
Pride Week, right? 420. We might have a McDermott logo tomorrow that we're unveiling that would be popular. Because
Fun. I'm calling it fun.
Because honestly, I'm a U.S. Senate candidate. I'm one of two people that's going to represent the state of Indiana. He is anti-cannabis, and I am pro-cannabis. And right now, there's a bill pending in the U.S. Senate that would legalize cannabis across the country. Wouldn't you rather have a guy in there? That's a question for you. I think there's a lot of people out there who would rather have a U.S. Senate candidate like myself, a U.S. Senator like myself, voting on this issue so that young, men and women, people that go to Illinois and purchase cannabis and come back to Indiana and get arrested so that foolishness could stop. So that we could focus on jobs and economic development. We could focus on using cannabis for our veterans so that they don't take opioids anymore. People aren't overdosing on cannabis. They're overdosing on opioids.
Yeah, I think that's really the point that you've made over and over again, that like this isn't just about recreational use. It's about the economic benefits, the health benefits, the benefits to veterans, the benefits to agriculture, small towns, and the decriminalization of it. So I think that it's a very complex issue, and I know people are all over the page on it. So I just like the fact that you're making it into a campaign issue, and so is the state party. So
I am. I'm making it a campaign issue. And so is the state party. In fact, next week we're hitting the road on the cannabis road trip. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it?
Sounds like Stoner
They're
Christmas.
they're like, hey, Mayor Tom, do you want to go on a cannabis road trip? I'm like, yes. And I'm
It's
like,
in
what
Indiana.
is? We're not. First off, the first rule we got to tell you, Mayor McDermott, is there's going to be zero cannabis on this trip. And I'm like, you should have said that before I obligated myself. So sounds like a lot of fun. Now it's just a lot of work.
Good, because
right?
I pictured like Willie Nelson's
bus
like,
pulling up.
Right? Who would not want to go on a cannabis tour, right? And then I realized there's no cannabis on this
just all
tour.
around
It's
Indiana
just a
where it's
lot
not
of work
legal.
where we talk about cannabis. This is so now I'm pissed that I obligated myself to the cannabis tour because I'm literally all over the state, and there's it sounded like a lot more fun.
You're not pissed.
I'm not pissed.
But you know what? Actually, so this is. I just want to get back to the money thing because it's interesting. I was doing a little bit of research into this, Tom, and the Senate races. 9 in 2020, 9 of the 10 most expensive Senate races ever happened in 2020.
Right.
Including the Georgia runoff was the most expensive ever. Purdue Ossoff was $470 million.
Jeez. Oh,
Yeah, followed by Loeffler, Warnock, $363 million. And then it just goes down from there, right? And the interesting thing is outside groups and PACs led the money in these. And by the way, and this is interesting, in most of those races, the person that lost spent more money.
wow.
And had more money. So, I mean, and just to show you, like, these races are off the charts, hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean,
how much did Todd Young and Donnelly's last race against Braun?
I want to say it was, and then someone online will probably correct me, but I wanted to say it was in the $20-30 million range.
That makes sense.
I
to me.
thought. I don't think it got up to 100, did it?
No, I didn't get up there. I think you're right. Actually, I think maybe each side did.
Yeah, we haven't hit those numbers yet, like hundreds and hundreds of millions
Because
of dollars.
I mean, unfortunately, we haven't had good competition from our side outside of Joe.
Right.
And
well, to me, it's just interesting that these numbers are just astronomical. And I think the good thing for you is that, like you said, it's not. You never said you were going to outraise Todd Young. Mm-mm. You said, like, I'm going to get my message out, and I want to be competitive.
We know how much we need.
Yep.
We did it backwards. We did all the TV stations across the multiple markets in Indiana. Think about how many TV markets there are. You got Fort Wayne, you got South Bend, Chicago. I mean, we got to count that. You got Indianapolis, you got Cincinnati, you got Louisville, Evansville.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
dude, that's a lot of TV markets right there.
The good thing is they're not as expensive as Chicago.
Chicago's and Indy's.
Sure.
Expensive also. But other than that, it starts dropping. So we did backwards math. If we're going to be on air for this long, this is how much we need, and now we know how much we have to raise, and we're looking for help.
You're going to get there.
Yep, but I love it when I go up to people and they're like, "How much did you raise?" I said $250,000. And they're like, "You're going to get your ass kicked." And I'm like, "You're a real political prognosticator. Good job. Wow, you're so deep. I hear that a lot.
I'm sure
A lot.
I think
That's terrible.
A lot.
Who are these people?
They're
Where's
assholes.
their manners?
But whatever. I'm glad they say it because it pisses me off slowly. I'm like a slow boil. I'm like a stew that stews all day long. It tastes really good.
Oh, I think people are so. Ingrained with
They do
thinking
taste
like
really good.
money.
Soft meat. You know what I'm saying? Tastes so good.
I don't know where you're going. This must go back to soft Jill's T-shirt.
Just
But
that's what she
I'd rather
said.
have that be the title. Soft meat.
instead of Stoner Christmas.
Stoner Christmas is way better.
Yeah.
I'm
All
on
right,
slow
well-
boil. Yeah, people do tell me it a lot though, honestly, and it's
Wow.
Well, I mean, even yesterday, and we'll get in. Right, let's talk about your travels.
when I
because-
write my book about how we beat Todd Young, I'm going to talk about how many people came up to me and how you have to just put that shit out of your head. Because I hear it a lot, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to work hard, and I'm a better candidate because of a number of reasons, and like I'm going to do better than the Democratic candidate usually does in races like this because I'm a better candidate, in my opinion, than a lot of the candidates we've been putting up. Unfortunately, maybe call that cocky, but I think I'm the perfect person that could beat Todd Young. I do think that.
and by the way,
I'm his foil.
I hear that a lot on the campaign trail too.
You're hearing
So-
it from Democrats, though. Democrats are nice to me. I'm talking
Well, sure.
about other people that come up, and I've had a person come up to me. I'm not going to even get into details because last time I did this, they figured out who it was. But they came up and said basically, the only reason people are giving you money is because they like you and they respect you, but they don't think you could win.
I don't think that's
Straight
the case
up.
because I think
No, I'm just telling you. People are
there's
like,
a lot of
people
just
are assholes
donors
like
around.
that.
Oh, I know people like to
It's
say
like,
shit
yo,
to
thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I'm working my freaking ass off right now, and it's like, oh, you have no chance.
Well, I think
Like,
they forget that like you're a person. Like it's not just like they're just
People
not
are
talking to
assholes.
like this, like
people are
candidate they
assholes.
see on
They-
TV.
it-
or
it's
something.
almost like, and they think they're being like nice about it. Oh, this is just how I talk. I'm a straight shooter. You have no chance at all. The only reason people are donating to you because they like you or they think you're still going to be the mayor. Another thing I hear a lot: Hammond residents aren't going to vote for me. I keep hearing that. I hear it so much, it's disturbing. But and I heard that during the congressional race.
Oh, because
also.
they want to keep you as their mayor, right? Is
Yeah,
that the theory?
that's the theory. The theory is I'm doing such a good job as their mayor that the theory is when I ran in 2020, a lot of Hammond residents either didn't vote for me or voted against me because they didn't want me to leave as mayor. So I do hear that a lot still. And I keep pointing out Indiana's a lot bigger than the 1st Congressional District. In the 1st Congressional District, if Hammond sat out or voted against me, that's a big deal because Hammond's the biggest city. In statewide, it's a lot less of an effect if that's the case. And God, that would be horrible if Hammond resident. I actually had a couple come up to me and say, hey, they're trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I voted against you because I love you as mayor. I'm like, oh, go F. Don't ever say that to me. I blocked somebody on Facebook when they said that to me. And this is shortly after
during
my
the
election.
grieving process.
I was in my grieving process.
Yes.
And they literally were like trying to be nice to me. And they're like, I voted against you because I love you so much as mayor. And I blocked them. I was like, don't ever say that to me. That was the wrong time.
They're trying to be nice. But
It's just like I'm putting my heart and soul into this. If you think I'm going to lose, I don't know. I guess you can tell me if you want, because people are. People
or
do
just
tell
keep
me.
it to yourself.
Whatever, man.
That.
People like telling you.
Just shut the fuck up.
At the end of the day,
right?
just vote. Vote for Tom.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, because I know you put your heart and soul you are putting your heart and soul into this. Where you been?
Oh, this is going to take a couple.
I saw the notes. I was like, man, you have been.
This is not counting my mayor's.
grinding.
This is not counting the stuff I do as mayor, which I could have tripled this because I'm mayor and I'm moonlighting as a candidate, or I'm a candidate and I'm moonlighting as mayor. But mayor is part of every day I do because it's. But this is one. Okay, I put mayor's nights out in there, like a mayor's night out. We got one tomorrow,
Wednesday,
or day after tomorrow.
No, tomorrow.
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 Wednesday.
Yeah, you're right.
February
Today's
20th.
Tuesday.
Interesting.
Yeah, tomorrow it's gonna
Stoner
be
Christmas, Mayor's Night
on
Out.
Stoner Christmas. Yeah. So mayor's night out, but I did have mayor's night out in the 1st district.
How'd that go?
That's a leading question, right?
I don't know.
It's rhetorical, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's leading. But
It was, yeah, it's rhetorical because it was from hell. That councilman and I have been disagreeing over the last couple of years on an issue about a park, and he stacked the meeting with people that were angry about the decision I made not to rebuild a public pool there. And it was a very, very heated meeting.
Did people really have pool floaters in the crowd?
Yeah.
You
Was
know
that
it's
real?
going to be a
That's
good
true?
meeting when people bring props.
I thought that was just a rumor.
They brought
Well,
props.
oh, no.
Wow.
like Joe said, it's going to be an interesting meeting when people bring props. They brought noodles.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Pool
pool
the
noodles.
noodles.
Yeah,
Pool
there's
noodles.
probably 100 pool noodles.
And then afterwards, well, then I
Yeah.
saw people collecting them because they're like, I want to use these for my pool.
I know, right? My dog likes to eat those, so I took a couple. No, but so the councilman before the mayor's night wrote an op-ed in the local, he has like
a neighborhood paper.
but it's basically his district in Whiting, which is a small city that borders our Hammond, for those of you that aren't from this area. But he put out this, it was really inflammatory, I thought. Like, once you ask the mayor this, and once you ask the mayor about this, and it was a real shitty article, I thought, op-ed. And by the way, him and I have since talked, and we're trying to move in the right direction. But I'm just telling you, I know that this column goes out before mayor's night, and I'm like, this guy is going to come after me. And it's an open format, by the way, stuff that that Senator Todd Young doesn't do. He doesn't feel like he has to talk to regular Hoosiers, right? This is what I do as a mayor. So I know I'm about to get pounded in a mayor's night. It's live on TV. So I go ready, man. I go in there ready to fight. And I think the councilman realized that. So we had a basically 2-hour fight. And I was explaining where I came from, and I was ready to go, and he was livid with me after that meeting.
So one of my sons, Aiden, happened to decide that he was going to go to his first mayor's night out.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Aiden was there.
And he comes up after, and
He's got like 10 pool noodles in his hands.
yeah, it's like, this is great.
He's like,
They
you
gave
gotta
away-
build that pool, Dad.
Why is
Aiden, get that noodle out of your hand, Aiden.
This is bullshit, Dad.
collecting? But he was like, "Are all mayor's nights out like this?" And I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
You came to a good one."
Recently?
Yeah, right? The last two, Jill? The
Yeah,
one before that
yeah,
was the one
you're
in
right.
Hessville. Was
Yep.
They were like, this is starting to become...
Maybe everyone will be
pattern.
celebrating 420 to be nice and mellow tomorrow
They
night.
should.
So-
We should put brownies out.
Oh.
I can't wait to see what District 2 brings,
All right.
prop-wise.
Tomorrow.
Don't be like firing them up, Jill. Like, come on. Like,
challenging.
prop-wise.
We're challenging you, District 2.
Yeah, the last two have been hell on wheels.
Bring
So.
your A game.
All right,
Why
so
is
you
this-
survived. You survived Mayor's Night Out.
And
I
by the
guess
way-
the good thing is you guys have started to try to mend some fences.
I called the
that's good.
councilman,
Yeah.
and I said, it's pretty sad that you and I, like, because I saw him after the meeting, and he was pissed at
Sure.
me. And we were in public, and we were, like, arguing in public in front of, Hammond residents.
Mm-hmm.
And then I texted him after. I'm like, dude, we've known each other 20 years. It's pretty sad that we can't even see each other in public without arguing. I'm like, would you go to breakfast with me? And he was like, cooler heads prevailed on his side. He's like, absolutely. So we set it up in his district, in one of the busiest restaurants in his district for breakfast, John L's. And him and I sat right in the middle of everybody in Robertsdale, and we had breakfast, and it was a really good meeting.
Good. Well, hopefully that's moving in the
And
right
by the
direction.
way, he asked me when we sit down, he goes, didn't Marissa tell you to text me? I said, no, man, this is me. he's like, this is not you. I was like, Mark, I don't need to be fighting. I'm trying to run for U.S. Senate.
That's
I don't
funny.
need to be fighting back home. But he literally was like, Marissa told you to do this, right? And I'm like, no, Tom did this on his own. Thank you, Councilman.
I think that's a Tom thing to do, actually. So, all right. So you survived Mayor's Night Out. What else?
And then
have
I
you
got
been
another
doing?
one tomorrow, like Jill said, on 420 Day. So hopefully cooler heads are chilling.
Prevailing.
They're
Chiller
chilling.
heads
Let's
are
chill. It's
prevailing.
420, Stoner Christmas. So church visits have been a big part of my time while we were away. I went to Community Baptist Church in Hammond, which is Pastor Patrick Gillis. Christian Valley Baptist Church in Gary, Pastor DeJuan Bynum. Miracle Temple Church of God in Christ in Gary, Pastor Burks. Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Gary, Pastor Royce Thompson. And, of course, St. John Bosco Church, which is my home parish, with the new priest we talked about already, Father Jeff. And that was yesterday,
Awesome.
which is nice. Fundraisers have been a big part of my time while I was away. I had a fundraiser in Indy hosted by Keith Cheney, Joe Smith, and Jen Krokock. Had a fundraiser in Cherville hosted by Vance Kenny and Randy Palmatier. Had a fundraiser in South Bend hosted by Lockmiller Group, which was an amazing event, by the way. Tons of people showed up there. And
A lot of elected officials is what you told me.
Right.
Yeah.
It was great. I'm doing really well in South Bend, by the way.
Good.
I'll get to that in a second. Fundraiser in Cherville hosted by Swedish Chandra and Sanjay Patel. So a lot of fundraisers. Meet and greet in Wabash County. Now, keep in mind, so Smitty's driving me to Wabash County. I'm there as a guest speaker. 2.5 hour drive there. We go to a Wings, etc. It was a great room. 20, 25 people.
On your way there, I remember you texting me like, is this really going to be good? Right.
We wanted to make sure because
Yeah.
I'm literally going to drive 2.5 hours to speak for an hour. and
Yeah,
then
there
drive
was
2.5
there
hours.
really wasn't much of a, like sometimes we try to coordinate several stops along the way. This was a down.
It was
and
a
back.
one. It was a
Yeah.
one hit.
Yeah.
But we went to a Wings, etc., which is great, by the way. I love
I
Wings,
love
etc.
Wings, etc.
But so Smitty drove me, gave a great speech there. Did one in Monroe County in Bloomington. Another Kevin Chandler drove me to that one.
Roosevelt Day, or it's Roosevelt Day, or
Yeah.
Roosevelt Night, or Roosevelt
FDR, right?
Yeah, Eleanor.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, we talked about FDR. Also
Yeah,
that
you
day.
got to give the Four Freedoms speech, which
Yeah.
was really cool, by the way. I thought
Yeah.
that was an interesting event. Very smart crowd down in Bloomington.
intimidatingly smart. Yeah,
It's like you've got
First
these
off,
professors introducing you, and
they're like, you're giving the keynote on the four corners
Four
speech,
Freedoms,
the Four
yeah,
Freedoms
yeah.
speech, and I'm like, okay, what's the Four Freedoms speech? And I know American history.
Yeah,
I'm like,
me too.
I had
agree.
to like do like a research paper.
We did some
I
research.
felt like I was in college again,
I agree. We
And-
did some research.
but I think I did all right.
Well, funny enough, after that event, I was in the back with the chair, who I believe teaches at IU, or at least used to, and he was like, I said, hey, Mayor was kind of like you gave him homework. He goes, oh, I know. I did that. I loved giving him some homework on
yeah,
this.
it was totally homework.
He was
I felt
like-
like I was in college. I'm like I can't just, cause Kevin tells me, yeah, it's like a 15-minute speech and it's on this topic. And then I don't look at it initially. I look at it a couple days before. I'm like,
Right.
I have to, like, I don't even know this speech at all. Like, I have to, this is what I have to talk about. Yeah. I was
I
not,
thought it was good. And I think the crowd liked it.
I would
And it
have-
was a good crowd.
I know, man. That was a good crowd. I thought that was the crowd I should give my normal speech to because my normal speech is good. And instead I was doing homework,
This
which
was
is great.
topical.
It turned out great, and it was a great stop. I'm
Nice
super
event.
happy. And by the way,
Got to see Tommy.
Monroe County is great. We got to see Tommy and Aiden, which is nice. So, the 420 thing that we're coming out with tomorrow, I can't really
Stay
get into
tuned.
that, but that took a day of our life to get that done. Guest speaker, Decatur Democratic Club, Decatur Township.
In Indy, near Indy, right?
Yeah, another
They
two
have
and a half.
very active township clubs.
Yeah,
in Indy. I
that's
noticed.
something we don't do locally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're big about their townships.
Ryan Mears and I, breakfast. I put that down. Just
Guest
'cause-
on Lockpod.
Guest on Lockpod, Lake County, Marion County prosecutor, one of the
Up
honestly,
for re-election.
Up for re-election. His race is in November, and he's gonna prevail. I'm positive, but he needs help. So make sure you donate to Ryan Mears. He's a friend of Lockpod. He's probably listening right now. I was a guest speaker at Morgan County Democrats.
Where's Morgan County?
Martinsville,
There
which
you
is
go.
just north of Indianapolis.
In between Indy and Bloomington.
That was another down and back. It was I don't know, 3 hours there, 3 hours back,
Whoa.
1 hour on the ground. Indiana's gotten smaller to me, Jill. This is not that big of a state anymore to me.
Same.
I could do but I'm not even I don't have to tell Jill. Jill's been driving, right?
Yes.
Look, I could do down and back to Fort Wayne now. That was unprecedented.
Yeah, Jill
for me.
did 10 counties over the weekend. Good job,
Thank you, Jill. How many miles is that?
Almost 500.
You're putting mileage in, of course. 'cause
Well,
you're-
she's driving, man.
yeah, I
she's
appreciate
driving.
it. I appreciate it. And like Smitty's doing it right now. Also, Jill and Smitty are long haul drivers. You know, Smitty's
You could
bringing-
become like maybe you should be like a semi driver on
Walmart's
the
hiring. I saw that.
You should. You could do both on the side.
side. Jill's just in a big rig.
Just honking at people.
Yeah, get out of my way.
Laborers Local 120 in Indianapolis. Leona, David Fry, president.
Leona's a big union.
Yeah, down and back. So I give a speech in front of these guys. It's literally a down and back for 15 minutes. So I'm like, okay,
Wow.
this is a long drive for a 15-minute speech. First off, a couple reasons why I did it. First off is David Fry, who is a big-time Democrat. I believe he's still on the DNC. He's a big-time Democrat. He's a leader of, I don't know, 600,000, I think, something like that.
Wow.
Laborers across the state and families and stuff like that. But David Fry also has this meeting where he brings in all the labor presidents from across the state of Indiana, all the executive boards, and they're all in one room.
So is that like locally? It's like Local 41,
Yeah,
right?
so Kevin Roach was there.
Nice.
So Kevin Roach is there with his team, right? And then, people from South Bend and their team, people from Evansville and their team, Fort Wayne and their team, Indianapolis' team is there, Muncie's there, Terre Haute's there.
See, to me, that's worth the.
Dude, it was totally
20-minute
worth it.
stop.
It was totally worth it.
Yeah.
But, that's the thing, though. Like, my life has become, okay, drive 2.5 hours, speak for 20 minutes, come home. Yeah, because you got mayor stuff to do, too, right?
Yeah.
So I literally am, but that one, they also gave me a nice campaign donation.
Well, that's nice of them.
Yeah.
That helps, especially
Campaign
when you're
donations
down
from me.
five,
I'll be
you know,
honest.
you're-
They gave me $5,000, which is huge. So I appreciate it, and that's going the next quarter. That's not part of the money we reported. We're getting so the unions are stepping up, especially the laborers in this case. And I want to remind all my labor friends out there, we have until May to donate. So step up, engineers and building trades, and I'm your candidate. Like Todd Young has made it clear, he's anti-union. He's
I supported he supported a
Anti-PLA.
bill. He's sponsoring a bill that's anti-PLA.
right, and he's
federal
also
projects.
supports right to work laws, and
Yeah.
so.
How can you be a friend of labor if you're supporting right to work?
And last but not least, I did Dingus Day yesterday.
That was something.
It's Kevin and I both did that. So Dingus Day is in South Bend. It's like Pierogi Fest in multiple locations.
Pierogi Fest on steroids.
Every bar you go to during Dingus Day is just jam packed. A lot of political speeches, but just a lot of drinking.
We went to this place called the
That's my
Crumstown Conservation Club, and pull up grass parking lot, and it's like, I don't know, 9:30 a.m.
Yeah,
Walk in.
people were wasted.
Walk
At 9 in the morning.
Walk
That's
in.
my
It's
people.
like shot
Yeah.
in a beer. Polka band is rolling.
People are
dancing. It's
9
like
a.m.
700
Dude,
people. I'm
they'd
telling you,
been
John.
there-
Like
they'd been there for hours.
Oh my gosh.
It was like a
I was
Notre Dame tailgate, except for they started way earlier than
everyone's in red and white. It was
Wow.
cool. And then it also couples with Solidarity Day,
right.
which is kind of like the African American angle on Dingus Day. And
Right.
they're celebrating as well. We went to the Elks Club.
Yeah.
You got to speak there. You got to speak at West Side Democratic Club, which was cool.
I was on South Bend TV. With
Mayor,
Mayor Mueller.
Yeah, he was there. You guys did the sign together.
He's been very, very, very supportive and nice.
He was fired up yesterday.
Mayor Mueller has been very, very good to me, and I appreciate him a lot. Seriously, and I love his city. He knows that. I think that's one of the reasons he likes me is every time I talk in South Bend, I'm like, I was a law student here in 1997. When I look at South Bend now, it is night and day, especially downtown. It's incredible what they've done. It's inspirational for me.
Yep.
Because that's what we need to do in downtown Hammond. South Bend has done it, man.
And
It looks good.
the thing I like about it is they've even gone outside of downtown and spreading to the neighborhoods. Kind of
Yeah,
new
absolutely.
streetscapes. They've made
Especially
it walkable in some of the
closer-
neighborhoods.
The closer you get to Notre Dame, it's the nicer it gets too. Notre
gorgeous.
Dame's really put a lot of money into that area. But Dingus Day is
It
the
was
real
fun.
deal, man.
UAW, you got to speak at the United Auto Workers breakfast.
Mhm.
That was cool.
Yep.
And a lot of fun stops.
So that's the life of a candidate. A lot of driving,
A lot
couple
of
speeches,
sauerkraut,
drive
and
home.
sausage, and
So, and by the way, I did have right off the bat yesterday. Like we get to the UAW, and we didn't drink there, did we?
No.
It was Crumstown.
Crumstown.
Oh, God.
yeah.
As soon as we get there,
Kinda-
I have 2 Bloody Marys, and then I start drinking beer, and I'm like, I have hardly anything in my stomach, and it's freaking 8 in the morning. It's like.
I mean, it's like you got to partake, but
You look like first time I look like a jackass because I got a suit on. Everybody else is
In red,
in their,
in their Polish red,
in their Polish
yeah,
red, and
yeah,
I got
yeah.
my suit on. They're like, "You must be a politician." I'm like, "What gave it away?"
we walked out of the Crumstown thing. This girl was woman, I should say, was sitting on a bench or something. She goes, "What are you running for?"
Yeah.
was like, well, actually.
Funny enough.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've been moving.
Life of a candidate.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you up to date. I got a lot of running around in the next week, man. It's getting, you can tell Election Day is getting close. And Election Day is getting close, and people are voting right now, by
Please
the way.
make sure around the state of Indiana, find out where you can vote for early voting, and a reminder, and this is important, especially for older folks, or if you've had older folks or neighbors that are not going to be able to get to the poll. The 21st, tomorrow, is the deadline in Indiana to get your absentee application in. You can go to indianavoters.com, print out the absentee application. You can fax that, email it, or deliver it to your local county clerk all across Indiana or election board of registration. Tomorrow is the deadline. Thursday is the deadline, the 21st. Please get that done, indianavoters.com, if you have absentee ballot folks that want to vote by mail.
Welcome back, Jill.
Yay.
Yep, we're in. So season 6, we're off and running. Two episodes in. We actually got a lot of our business done today.
Yes, we did.
Thanks to everybody. That's
Smooth. It seemed a lot smoother.
Not
as exciting as Dr. Mike, but smooth.
But thanks for your help today, Kevin. Good job.
Welcome.
Jill, thanks. Great to see you again. See you next Tuesday. Right? You and Lynn.
I'll see you tomorrow at the Throwdown.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow for, Stoner Holiday, Mayor's Night Out. Jay Vez, thanks, man. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And, of course, coming from your locomotive, we're Belgium's top-rated podcast for a reason. And what are we ranked in Ghana? It's not as high as Belgium.
Getting up there.
But we are
We're
top.
hoping to break the top 100.
Tom, we look at our stats every day. We're tracking this closely.
By the end of season 6, we'll know these. We'll know this information.
We'll be on YouTube and we'll have a soundboard. So I'll talk to you guys later. See you on Friday for episode 3. Thanks, everybody. Take care.